What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the channel. I know it's been a long time, but we are back with an NFL mock draft here for the start of April. Figure what better time to get one out here than the first Friday of April. I've been gone for a while. School's kind of caught up with me, but we're back here and we're going to started with a mock draft here. So, of course, pick number 1, the Tennessee Titans. We're going to go with Cam Ward. If you guys have been following the channel for a long time, you know just how much of a Cam Ward fan I really am. I think Cam Ward is an incredible prospect. I think he's going to be an incredible NFL player. He's got the arm talent. He's got the skills. I think he has the mental to do it. He just needs to kind of cut out on the hero ball. But I absolutely love Ward as a prospect, and this would be disappointing for me. Of course, you guys know I'm also a Browns fan. I'd love to have Cam Ward on the Cleveland Browns. We need a quarterback, but here, the Tennessee Titans pick him at 1. I think that's the most likely thing that's going to happen. I do think the Titans are going to go with Ward. 2, that leaves the Browns to go with Abdul Carter. I've got a couple friends who are also Browns fans that want Travis Hunter here, Shedeur Sanders. I'm not a Shedeur guy. A lot of you guys know that as well. I don't have a very high grade on him. I think he's going to go in the first round, but would I personally take him in the first round if I were a GM? No. So I don't really want Shedeur. I think it's possible here for the Browns, though. Travis Hunter, I wouldn't be mad with. I think he's a full-time corner with kind of like a red zone wide receiver kind of threat. I don't think he's going to be full-time on both sides of the ball. I think he profiles better as a corner and then kind of a red zone threat or within the 20, 40, maybe within the 30-yard line threat for wide receiver, but not full-time. But I would rather go with Abdul Carter. He's an athletic freak. You need to get someone on the other side of the newly extended Myles Garrett. And you go with Carter there. The Giants at 3, that leaves them with Travis Hunter. The Giants just need playmakers on both sides of the ball, to be honest. They just need good players. And Hunter, obviously, he's a star. He's got a huge following. I think that fits really well in New York. Just have to hope playing on MetLife nothing bad happens to Travis Hunter because he's such a good player. At 4, the New England Patriots. I'm going to go something weird here, and I'm going to push Armand Membu up the board. I think they badly need tackle, to be honest. You got to protect Drake May. And I'm just not sure anyone else here is where the Patriots would really be looking at. And Membu, a lot of you guys probably don't know much about Armand Membu. He's really, really good. He's someone I just got into his tape recently. Absolutely incredible. The measurements aren't spectacular, but they should be enough. I don't know if it will show the arm length here. It does not. They measured out to just 34. So he hits that 34-inch threshold, 6'3", 314, a little short. But I think he can stick a tackle. I think he's probably going to be the best pure tackle. It depends on how you view Will Campbell. But the best pure tackle in this class. If you guys haven't gotten into his tape, I highly suggest that he's really, really good. We'll go with the Patriots. Armand Membu at 4. 5th, we're going to go with Mason Graham. I feel like this is kind of the chalk pick. I've been doing it a lot. It makes a lot of sense. The Jaguars address a lot of other needs. Their new general manager came out and said they need places for the rookies to play, and they haven't done anything on the D-line. So that makes me think, all right, Mason Graham right there fits in. He's a really, really productive player, strong, big, great instincts in the middle of the defensive line. I think he can add a lot. The Raiders at 6. Pete Carroll needs a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is on the board. Again, I'm not a huge Shedeur guy. I can recognize he has elite accuracy, but the measurements aren't there. The arm strength is definitely not there. The mental isn't there for me. The athleticism is definitely not there. He just doesn't have anything besides that accuracy, and how far can that really carry him? To at least being a solid starter, I think it could, but I don't think he has, future superstar or all-star kind of potential. But if you think that you can develop him in Las Vegas with Pete Carroll and that offense now and see what he can do, I think the Raiders, they definitely need a quarterback, and I think that Shedeur pick makes sense. The Jets at 7, we're gonna get a little goofy with this one, and we're gonna go with Will Campbell. They need offensive line, and they specifically need tackle. But the thing with Campbell is a lot of people don't think he's gonna stick a tackle. He has short arms, although there's been different measurements between the Combine and the Senior Bowl and the Pro Days. I don't know how they're messing up measurements nowadays with the arms, but for the most part, Campbell does have shorter arms than you'd like at tackle. But you get 2 tries with Will Campbell because you can put him at tackle, see if he sticks. If he's good there, you can keep him at tackle. If he doesn't stick, you can move him inside the guard where he profiles to be an incredible guard. So I think Will Campbell at 7 just makes sense for the Jets. At 8 for the Panthers, I've been going with an edge rusher here a lot, and I would like to go down here and find Shamar Stewart. I keep pushing Shamar Stewart up the board because of his athleticism. I know with the production, this isn't great, But when you look at Shamar Stewart and you look at the way he was used in that Texas A&M defense, he was never really the one-on-one guy with an edge. It wasn't his role. They weren't free rushing edge rushers. It was, creating space for the blitzers off the edge and the blitzers up the middle. Stewart was kind of that space eater in the middle. He's 6'6", 290 or 285, depending on where you measure. He's an incredible guy, incredible athlete. I mean, that's really what you're drafting for. You're drafting the athlete who you think that if you use in a different role in the NFL, you can get a little bit more production out of him. The Saints at 9, I'm going to go Genty. I think a lot of people were so late into the cycle, just forget how good of a prospect Ashton Genty is. He's ridiculously good of a running back prospect. And obviously the contact balance is ridiculous. You have all heard it. He has the speed. He's a little short. He definitely improved in his pass catching and his pass blocking this past season at Boise State. And when you look at now new Saints head coach Kellen Moore, a lot of his past offenses have had prolific running backs. And you like Alvin Kamara. You love Alvin Kamara. He's starting to get up there in age. His production has been declining slightly. And we all know it. Alvin Kamara is much better in the pass game than in the run game. You can have that 1-2 punch with Genty and Kamara now. Bears at 10, they're pissed. They're so mad because Genty's off the board. So where do you look to now? In my opinion, I probably look to the D-line. I probably go with an edge rusher. And I think this is where I'm going to go with... You guys know I don't do these mock drafts ahead of time. I keep them all, natural here. I don't like to pre-plan picks, but I'm going to go with Jalen Walker here. A guy who I think a lot of people, I think he's going to come off the edge. A lot of people see this linebacker position here at PFF, and they're like, they don't get a linebacker. He's not an off-ball linebacker. He can. He has the athleticism to do it. He has the skills to do it. We've seen him in coverage at Georgia. But I think he's going to come off the edge. He's so prolific off the edge, and as a blitzer as well. He's going to be rushing the passer one way or another, and he has the athleticism. He's a crazy athlete, super fast, good size. You just got to improve that Bears defense, and I think Jalen Walker does that. You hope that Caleb Williams will take a year or two jump. The San Francisco 49ers here at 11, I'm going to go O-line. Let's see if we can scroll down and find who I want. There we go, Kelvin Banks. We're going to push Kelvin Banks with the board. I feel like I've had him falling in some recent mock drafts, but he's a really good pure tackle. He's got the size. He has the arm length. There's no question about whether he's going to move inside the guard. He is going to be a tackle. There's just questions about some of his footwork and, is he going to get beat by faster edge rushers? But San Francisco needs a tackle. You have to take the swing on Kelvin Banks and hope that you can keep him off the ground. It's one of the biggest things in these tape. He's always on the ground. If you're on the ground, you can't pick up extra blockers or hold your blocks. But I think Banks there fits. The Cowboys at 12, they're so happy because Teteroy McMillan's here. And I know you have CeeDee Lamb. You need other weapons for Dak Prescott, right? I think Teteroy McMillan makes a lot of sense on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. Lamb is kind of shifty with the ball in his hands. McMillan's that typical deep, big body kind of guy. And you look at a 6'5", that's just the measurement that PFF has. There's questions about McMillan with his kind of love of football, obviously I don't like these type of questions. I think all these guys love football. It's just I kind of relay what you hear throughout the draft professionals there. As well, if this is actually a concern that I have on tape. Sometimes he doesn't really look enthusiastic out there on the field, or he's not always putting his all into every single rep. But I think maybe in the NFL that can change. See if the Cowboys can get the most out of him. The Dolphins at 13. This has been easy. Malachi Starks. You lost Javon Holland to the Giants in free agency. You need to replace him with a guy, Malachi Starks. His 2023 tape was way better than his 2024 tape, but his 2024 tape was still ridiculously good. Super instinctive, athletic safety. You can be kind of that single high or two high safety. Just great coverage skills. He's gonna hit hard. He has great instincts. He's going to play. I think he is a top 5 player in the class for me. You just don't see him going higher because of that position of safety. It's a little less valued in the NFL. 14 for the Colts. We're going to go with Tyler Warren. I like Tyler Warren a lot. He's versatile. Obviously, the things. He played a bunch of positions over there at Penn State, center, quarterback, running back, tight end, in the slot, outside, everything. But he's a great tight end. He's going to be just a traditional, I think, inline tight end there. Obviously, you can move him around if you want for some different looks. But great receiving threat. He's got speed down the field. He can go up and high point the football. He's also a good blocker as well. He has those skills. He's a big enough guy that I think he can catch up or pick up on blitzing linebackers and edge rushers, and as well as kind of flatten if there's any corner blitzers as well. The Falcons at 15. Best defensive player available, to be honest, and to me that's Jahad Campbell at this point. Campbell listed at linebacker. I think he's going to kind of be a hybrid off-ball linebacker as well as like blitzer on-ball. I don't think he's going to be like a pure edge, but I think you can rotate him off the edge in certain sets. But he's definitely athletic. He came in Alabama as a 5-star edge rusher recruit, so he definitely have the skills. But I think he's going to be very, very valuable as a blitzer, thumper up the middle kind of linebacker. And honestly, Atlanta just needs their defense to get better. It's so bad. You're obviously rocking with Michael Penix now at quarterback, so try to get the other side of the ball a little bit of help so Penix doesn't have to be as concerned with scoring every single drive. Obviously, you want to, but that's kind of hard to do. The Cardinals at 16. We're going to go inside to the interior. We're going to go here, D-line. And I'm going to push Kenneth Grant up here at 16. I've also had Grant falling, but I think just the fit makes sense. The Cardinals need to get better on the inside. Grant's really good, of course, playing tandem duo with Mason Graham for a couple of years at Michigan, and Grant is always in on plays. Whenever I turn on Michigan tape, he's always in on plays. He's a disruptor up the middle, great in the run game, also has some pass rush juice as well. I really like Kenneth Grant. I think he fits there well in Arizona. Bengals at 17, they just need defense. If it's not defense, I would be mad at the Bengals. And let's go with Mike Green. Absolutely insane athlete. A little bit short. The arm length is a little short, and he himself is a little short as well. Measured out pretty well. I think like 250 around the Senior Bowl combine. But I think Mike Green is still a really good player. Top of the NCAA or near the top of the NCAA in sacks last season. So if you like production, he has that. If you like the athleticism, he has that. And if you like the tape, he's really, really prolific off the edge. Of course, I know playing in a smaller conference at Marshall, you might not like that. But Mike Green has everything else. He also dominated the Senior Bowl one-on-ones as well. So I think that definitely helps him in his draft stock. And I think the Bengals, you don't know what's going on with Trey Hendrickson. Is he going to stay? Are you going to trade him? Are you just going to keep him for that 1 year? You need to get better on the defensive line. Anyways, just go with Mike Green. The Seattle Seahawks here at 18. You got rid of Tyler Lockett. You traded DK Metcalf. You need something on the outside. You think JSN's probably going to go to the outside now with Cooper Kupp. So you go Matthew Golden, who I think is going to be an outside guy. I don't think he's like a traditional deep threat. I think he's more of a route runner guy. I think a lot of people are seeing the 40-yard dash he ran and saying, oh, he's a deep threat guy. But no, he's more of a route runner. He's going to get open. He's got fluid movements, great cuts, and he doesn't drop the football either. I also can't play some return man. He did that when he was there in Houston. 6'1", 195 is the measurements that PFF has. I think Matthew Golden is going to be really, really good on the outside. He's probably, honestly, he might be my favorite outside of Genty and Ward for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think those are probably my top two, and then Golden's probably my third there. At 19 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm going to go with Jahdae Barron. I think Jahdae Barron can stick on the outside, and that's probably an unpopular opinion within draft cycles, but I think he can stick on the outside. I think he's a really, really good player. I loved watching him at Texas. He spent a lot of time there. He's got great coverage skills, great instincts. It's just a matter of the NFL's a lot of press man. And he's shorter with shorter arms. Can he stick on the outside with those bigger, taller wide receivers in press man? I don't know. I like to think he can because he plays physical. But if not, you're getting a really, really good nickel/slot corner. I think Barron, he just has a lot of value. I think he can also play on the backside and safety in certain looks and sets as well, kind of drop coverages. At 20 here with the Denver Broncos, I think I'm going to go wide receiver. And I'm going to go with Emeka Egbuka. He seems like a Sean Payton kind of wide receiver. He's just going to get open, find the space. He's not a crazy athlete, but he's going to get open, find the space, and catch the football. And you just need better weapons for Bo Nix. I think you kind of ran into the issue where you have a lot of okay wide receivers, but you don't have a lot of top guys for Bo Nix to throw to. I think if you get him a reliable slot guy in Egbuka, who's almost going to always be open, he just is that kind of instinctual route runner. I think that bodes well for them. The Steelers at 21. We're going to get fun with it. Jackson Dart. If I was a GM, I wouldn't touch Jackson Dart in the first 3 rounds. I wouldn't even consider him in the first 3 rounds. I don't think Jackson Dart's an incredible quarterback prospect. Obviously, he has some talent, but you're already a slow processor and a very easy and one-read kind of Ole Miss offense that doesn't bode well. You have the arm talent, and he has a size and athleticism. He has kind of those intangibles, but when you actually watch him on tape, he actually is an elite, and the mental processing and pre-snap processing just isn't really where it needs to be. I'm not super high on Jackson Dart, but the Steelers need a quarterback, and even if Rodgers signs, they're going to need a future. So I think Jackson Dart kind of a fun pick, even just to mix it up, even if it doesn't happen. I don't think it's likely to happen, but just to mix it up. Again, you never know what can happen in a mock draft. If you guys are down in the comments saying, like, this would never happen, those kind of things actually do happen. Drafts are super unpredictable. The Chargers at 22, we are going to go here to the tight end position and go with Colson Loveland. I like Colson Loveland. He's not your traditional inline tight end because he's kind of a little bit smaller, but he can still block, but mainly he's going to be a receiving threat for Justin Herbert. He can get down the field, play vertical up the seam. He's really, really fast. Hit a down production year this past season, mainly because of quarterback play at Michigan. It was terrible. But back when they had J.J. McCarthy, the production was up. When you had a decent enough quarterback to get Colson Loveland the football, he's going to produce, and they have Justin Herbert, and he's going to be back with his former coach and Jim Harbaugh. So I think that makes a lot of sense there in that connection to the Michigan Wolverines. The Packers at 23. Where am I looking here? Probably staring me right in the face. Back-to-back Michigan guys, Will Johnson. I think Johnson's going to fall, just with concerns over his injuries and down the field speed. But he's still a good physical, tall corner. He has a big build, great instincts in coverage, and he just doesn't get beaten coverage. Just you worry about that long speed and the injuries. But if you can get someone on the other side of Jair Alexander to lock up in Green Bay, I think that bodes really well for them. So that's where I'm kind of looking. I know they have Eric Stokes as well, but I like Johnson there. 24 to the Vikings. The Vikings, I hate picking for the Vikings. They're one of my least favorite teams to pick for. I mean, I'm looking at the corners and the running backs right now. I mean, who are you thinking about right now? You're like maybe Azariah Thomas you want to reach up, maybe Maxwell Harrison, Trey Amos. I'm not super high on, a lot of people are. I think we go to the running backs, and I think we go with Amari Hampton. If there's going to be a second running back taken in the first round, it's going to be Amari Hampton. Obviously, Genti's going to be that first. And you probably going to rock with J.J. McCarthy. So we got to get some type of run game going. McCarthy, of course, was used to having a run game at Michigan. You need a run game to take the pressure off of your younger quarterback, just so you're not forced to do everything through the air. And I think Amari Hampton can do that. He's such a prolific runner. Very, really instinctual. I say instinctual a lot because it's just how you can describe a lot of these skill position players. Great field vision, finds the hole, strong runner, keeps his legs churning. I think he fits really well there. The Houston Texans here at 25, I'm going to go with a wide receiver. And I'm going to go with Luther Burden, but I'd say I think Jaden Higgins has a very good shot to go in the first round. But I'm going to go with Luther Burden. You get a prolific guy who I think is going to play in the slot mainly, but can play on the outside as well. Super, super good with the football in his hands. He's going to make guys miss. He's shifty. He's fast. He can turn corners. He also doesn't drop the ball. I think people are down on him just with a bad 2024, but it also wasn't great quarterback play. Brady Cook was hurt a lot, so I'm not really taking too much stock into that. I still think Burden's a great player, and I think this kind of probably 20 to 32 is where his range is nowadays in the draft. At 26 with the Rams, we're going to go on the offensive line, and we're going to go with Josh Simmons. One of the guys who I think is going to stick at pure tackle in this class. Had such great tape at Ohio State this past season before going down with an injury. Only played a few games for them, but the tape was really good. Doesn't get beat off the edge. Really strong in the run game as well. Has great footwork, kind of keeps himself grounded, and I like that a lot from Josh Simmons. I think obviously the Rams just need tackle as well. They're very weak at that position group. The Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to go off the edge, and it's going to be Dominic Ezeraku. You could probably think about also James Pierce or Micah Williams here, but I really like Dominic Ezeraku. He was, I believe, the leading sack getter, or the leading leader in sacks for the NCAA this past year. I believe that was him. A little bit of a shorter, smaller guy coming off the edge, but when you look at the tape, it doesn't concern me at all. They say here, smaller for an NFL edge rusher at over 6'2", 240 pounds. Fails to converge. Also, they're talking that they don't really like him very much. First step might not be explosive. It's quick and smooth into top speed. I think Dominic Ezeraku is really well. Of course, he doesn't have the top end speed. He doesn't have the measurements, but he's a smart player. Has a lot of good kind of rip moves that he uses, swim move. And he also is a very high IQ player. Of course, he's good in the run game as well. I think he just kind of fits that Ravens mold. The Ravens always seem to draft well as well. The Lions at 28, they're happy. Michael Williams is here, and I think that fits. When Aiden Hutchinson went down last year, you needed some kind of edge production, and they just couldn't get it. Now you're going to get Hutchinson back. You need someone on the other side from Aiden Hutchinson or in case of an injury, and Michael Williams fits that. He's an athletic freak, another one of those Georgia defensive players who are extremely athletic, great off the edge, fast. I think he's a better kind of speed guy than power, but I think he can kind of turn that speed to power in certain looks, certain techniques he lines up in. I think one of the best things about Williams as well is he's athletic enough, and he showed this at Georgia, where he can drop into coverage at times too, just for disguised looks. He brings in that little bit of extra versatility that way. The Commanders at 25. I'm going to go a little bit odd with this one. I'm going to go with a guy who's listed at tackle. He's going to play on the inside. I'm going to go with Marcus Mbow. I really like him a lot. Not a lot of people know about him. He's listed at tackle. He played tackle at Purdue. I think he played actually all over the place at Purdue, but I think he's going to move inside for sure to guard, maybe even center. And Washington just needs to get better on the offensive line as a whole. You need to protect Jaden Daniels. They made that crazy NFC Championship game run this past year, but you need to improve on the O-line, and I think Mbow does that. I think he's honestly really, really strong. He put up quite a good rep at the combine, if I am not mistaken. So, yeah, started at guard and tackle, played right tackle. So I think he's more fit to play on the inside. Again, maybe like a Will Campbell situation if you want to try him on the edge on tackle and see if he fits. But I think most likely you're probably sticking him at tackle or sticking him at guard or center, maybe even. The Bills at 29. This has been a really tough spot for me. I don't like picking for the Bills either. I'm gonna go the weird pick. I'm going to go with Maxwell Harrison. I think he improved his stock a lot at the combine. He ran ridiculously well in the 40-yard dash, measured out really well. He had a solid year at Texas. I think he's good in coverage. Obviously, you like the speed and the size. Is kind of what you're drafting him. He's a height, length, speed kind of corner, and I think that's what most corners who get drafted in the first round are: height, length, speed. So Maxwell Harrison fits that to a T. I think Buffalo can get better. I know they just extended Christian Benford, but I think Buffalo can get better on the outside boundary corners, and I think Harrison fits that. The Chiefs, let's go to the D-line. Let's let the Chiefs get a little bit better on the D-line with Derek Harmon, a really good player from Oregon, had an incredible year this past year. Great in the pass rush. He's got juice up in the middle, and I think when you find those interior defensive linemen who are so prolific in the pass game, it's harder to find. A lot of times you find space eaters or guys who stop the run. Harmon can both stop the run and rush the passer. There's value in that, and the Chiefs just get better and better with that pick. The Eagles. What do the Eagles do? Well, I think they can go a lot of things. Obviously, the Eagles. They love taking D-line. They love taking edge. Then they like taking O-line. I don't think there's any offensive line that I'm really looking at this point, and I'm probably looking D-line up the middle. You lost Milton Williams. You need to draft some kind of replacement. So, like Tyleik Williams. Daniel Jeremiah really likes Alfred Collins. I like Darius Alexander a lot. But we're going to go with Walter Nolan this time. Falls a little bit in the first round after transferring to Ole Miss from Texas A&M. Depending on what recruiting site you look at, he was number one or Travis Hunter was number one in that recruiting class. But I like Walter Nolan a lot as a prospect. I think he's really, really good. Let's see. Why is this not exiting out? Well, not entirely sure. We'll just switch over to this to end the draft. I think Walter Nolan's a really, really good player. He's got some pass rush ability as well as run-stopping ability, like kind of Derek Harmon. He's a little bit, in my opinion, just a less juiced-up version of Derek Harmon. He definitely has the size as well. There we go. We can kind of switch back here. Take a look at the draft. I'll scroll through slowly. You can kind of see the picks. Let me know in the comments who you want your team to draft, if you like the pick that I made, if you guys have any surprise picks or anything that you kind of want to share to me. I read all the comments that I get, so let me know in the comments down below. As well, leave a like and subscribe. A lot more draft content coming up in April. The draft is just 22 days away as of filming this. I believe it's going to be 20 days away when this video goes up for you guys, so you're not going to want to miss any of that. But with that, that'll do it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.